confidential letter to the one who knows they're meant for more. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Futurist Mindset Show. My name is Tessa, and I'm here to introduce you to Reagan Rodriguez. Reagan is a futurist who teaches stratosphere wealthy legacy families how to become impact investors. Hi, Reagan.
Hello, Tessa. How are you doing on this afternoon?
I'm wonderful. I mean, it's summertime. It's beautiful. I would say, how's your summer going so far?
Yeah, it's all the same, right? I live in Miami, so it's just
It's gorgeous all the time.
yeah, we have when people say that we don't have seasons, yeah, we do. We have storm season, and you see that from when you go to Tampa, it rains in the summer, so it's we're in storm season, but I'm good. Yeah.
Wonderful,
So
wonderful.
I'll go ahead and get started then.
All right.
All right. So look, if you're listening to this, you're watching this, then chances are you already know that this world wasn't meant for the average. If you're like me, you might even feel it. Yet, despite your potential or your drive, your vision, something still maybe feels a bit off, right? Maybe you've built, achieved, or survived, but you might be stuck. And it's not for a lack of ambition. Maybe it was because certain tools that you were given don't work at this level. Okay. And what you don't need more hustle. You need clarity. You need alignment. You need power and you need access. And that's where the Fifth Avenue Underground Club begins, because your mood, your internal atmosphere, it's not some fleeting feeling. It is the invisible force that is going to be shaping your entire reality. It's not just about feeling good or bad. It's how you interpret that challenge as a test, or do you look at it as a threat? Do you speak with conviction, or do you spiral into silence? Or do you rise, or do you retreat? Most people don't understand this, but you do. You've seen it play out. Maybe on the days where your energy's low, and then the world seems to push back harder. But when you're centered, on those days where you're focused, have you ever noticed that that's when doors seem to then open? Same world, just different mode. And then everything changes. That shift, that one that seems subtle, is that first domino. It either compounds into your destiny or it's going to kind of collapse into destruction. And here's what I've noticed is that hard truth. If you can't lead your mood, then your mood will quietly lead you. And here's also what I've noticed. It then leads us into mediocrity, leads us into fear, and then years into, look, you're going to be into what is not where you want to be. Discipline is the difference. And not the kind of discipline that beats you down. I'm talking about the one that's going to unlock that real self. The one that says, I choose who I'm becoming, no matter what's happening around me. That is the mindset of the clients I work with, or should I say the members of the Underground Club. We don't just act when we feel like it. We act when it's required. Why? Because we've trained our minds to not be reactionary, but visionary. You don't get invited into the circle by accident. You get your place through emotional gravity, through moving through storms, as I mentioned earlier, through precision. I will teach you how to do that. When others panic, I'm going to teach you how to learn how to pause. When others shout, we're going to strategize. That's not weakness. That is unshakable inner power. And that is a skill that you can practice. It's one that has now become a muscle, but you don't train it alone. Inside the Fifth Avenue Underground Club, Tessa, you can say this is what you can tell them this as well. We're given frameworks, we're given tools. And then there's mentorship to command that internal dialogue that's maybe been going wild a little too long, right? Don't suppress emotion. We don't just cope, we collaborate. Your fear, it's a memory, and it's pretending to be a prophecy. Here's another thing. I was talking to someone earlier. It goes through anger. That's unprocessed pain. And he was looking for a target. And I was telling him that unless you train to pause, to see it, to lead it, then your emotions are going to lead you straight into those walls of regret. So learn to separate stimulus from response, how to pause and redirect instead of collapse. Take back that one thing that nobody can teach you in school. It's called personal sovereignty. And in that pause is then going to lie your freedom. This is why so many never really break through. It's not that they lack talent. They lack timing. They can maybe, look, while one hand's doing one thing, but the other hand sets it all on fire with unchecked emotion. Yeah. I've met people like that. But you, if you're listening to this, you're ready to step into precision. That version of you that can bring calm into that chaos, stillness into the storm, focus into that fog. That version of you already exists. You have maybe felt glimpses, but now it's time to step in fully. Stop waiting for some external permission slip. Finally walk into the room where real influence is shaped, because you've always been that outlier. You've maybe been that person that was able to see what others missed. You noticed the cracks behind the curtain and you said, is this really it? No, it's not. And you know it. That's why the Fifth Avenue Underground Club exists. It's for individuals that are like you. It's for those that have outgrown their surroundings, but they maybe haven't found their circle. It's for the few who know that wealth is more than numbers and freedom is more than chaos disguised as a choice. The underground is not about status. It's about structure. It's not about luxury. It's about leverage. Not just abundance, but alignment. Here's the truth that most won't say out loud. Your money mirrors your mental order. You cannot separate your financial patterns from your emotional defaults. If your inner world is chaotic, then your bank account will reflect it. And it's not because you're broken, but because clarity hasn't been systematized yet. Inside the club, we're not going to give you advice. We're going to give you assistance and audit and collaborate your focus and build that emotional architecture that is going to sustain wealth. It's not going to just create it. We've all seen what happens when people get money without mental clarity. It then just slips, it scatters, it vanishes. Because money does not fix your habits, it amplifies them. You're not here for hype, you're here for harmony. And the truth is that starts with the order you bring to your internal game. Okay, when your mind's clear, your decisions become surgical. Your spending becomes intentional. Your investments align with then who you are, not the world pressures you to be. You then start operating like a sovereign entity, not a reactive consumer. You've built not to impress, but to impact. That is the shift. And with that shift, your momentum becomes untouchable because you're no longer dancing to the tune of your mood swings. You move with emotional timing, not emotional turbulence. Stop waiting for inspiration and instead start acting from the identity. And the more you do that, the more unstoppable you'll become. Momentum will then start to compound, but it can also collapse. You have felt it, bursts of passion that's then followed by days of paralysis. The dream did not disappear. Your mood just hijacked the wheel. And that ends here. Inside the Fifth Avenue Underground Club, we're going to teach you emotional timing, how to act when it's time to act, how to protect that momentum from the sabotage of the temporary feelings. Stay the course when everyone else is burning out with inconsistency. This is not about robotic discipline. It's about emotional maturity. It's about being the kind of person that then others can trust. Not because you're always smiling, but because you're showing up. The world does not need more emotional reactors. It needs emotional architects. If you're listening to this, maybe it's because you were built to build, but you've been swinging upstream long enough. It's now time to enter that room where your wiring makes sense. Financial power, I've noticed it doesn't start with a bigger paycheck. It starts with a sharper mind, with the precision to see what others missed, with the clarity to walk away from distractions and glean into destiny. This is what we're going to teach you is mental clarity, a spiritual strength, not just financial structures. And it's not just so that you can get rich. It's so that you can become dangerous. And I mean that in the best way possible, not for applause, but for the impact. You are not here to consume. You are here to construct, and you know it. So before you chase more income, let's chase more insight. Before you optimize spreadsheet, let's optimize our mind. Before you scale your business, let's scale our internal order, because the state of your bank account is the echo of your inner world. Clean the source and the rest will follow. Let's talk freedom. We live in this culture where we confuse freedom with indulgence. But true freedom, it's not doing whatever you want, whenever you want. That's chaos in a tailored suit. True freedom is built on self-control, on deciding what matters, and refusing to be seduced by distractions that are made into your desires. Look, it's not about suppression, it's about sovereignty. We train individuals to say no when necessary, not because they lack passion, but because they have purpose. People don't just burn bright for a moment, but build a fire that'll warm generations. Discipline is our love language. Clarity is our currency. And self-respect is our standard. You do not need to be perfect, but you need to be decisive. You need to take your potential seriously enough to say, I won't let comfort rob me of my calling. Because in the end, this isn't about motivation, it's about mastery. Your life is a system, and systems don't lie. Every part connected to every thought, writing a check that your future has to cash. So here it is. Take control of your mood, not through force, but through focus. I want you to train your mind, not for perfection, but for power. Bring order to your finances, not for show, but for sovereignty. I want you to master your timing, not to impress others, but to protect your purpose. Cultivate the self-control, not because it's trendy, but because it's going to be your edge. The Fifth Avenue Underground Club is not for everyone. It's for the few that know, those that understand the external breakthroughs. They're meaningless if they're built on chaos. Those that want to take the next step, not someday, but now. You've already waited long enough, and you wouldn't have gone this far to listen to this video if something deep inside you didn't already know that it's time. So take the step, get in the room, join the circle. Because in the underground, we do not chase potential, we activate it. Apply, align, ascend. I'd like to say, let me close by saying, welcome to the other side.
I love it. Well, you have so much, you give us so much insight in the just the big picture, right? The mastering your timing to protect your purpose. So you have a mission, and I just love that you help people to focus the chaos. It's so easy to get caught up in everything that we're doing and all of the expectations that you have around things for yourself, but also that you feel other people have. So it's amazing that you can go to a place where you can sort those things out, get clarity, all of the big things that you were saying that stood out to me, get the assistance that you need, the tools, but more than that, you get that access to someone who can help you with your momentum, your emotional timing, your sharper mind. I mean, it's just wonderful that you've started this. So thank you for the Fifth Avenue Underground Club, because it is going to help a lot of people, obviously. But I just think that people want to be in the room with you. They want to be in the room with other people who are making moves. And so thank you for that, Reagan.
Oh, no, you're quite welcome. Thank you for your comments at the end here.
Of course. Well,
so why don't you close us out like you always do?
Yes. Well, if you guys want to find out more information about the Fifth Avenue Underground Club, you can reach out to Reagan, and then we'll put the website on the video here. So it's Fifth Avenue, capital 5THAAVC.com. You can actually fill out the contact form and get right into connect with Reagan, and it is coming soon. So you will be able to join, and obviously it's elite. So it's invitation only. If you're seeing this and you want to reach out to Reagan, he has, not that you're screening people, but you want to make sure that the people are going to take action, right? So definitely want to find the right people that want to come into this, into the club. So you can visit the website, and if you have any questions, obviously reach out and let Reagan know. And whenever we go live, you can click the bell to get notifications, and it will let you know when we are live. So we'll see you all next week. Thank you so much. Thank you, Reagan.
Oh, thank you. You did a great job hosting.